Okay, we're here to talk about Masquerade, to go behind the song. This is the last single off of the album, and it is definitely, I shouldn't say my favorite, but it's like a favorite. What about you guys?
No, I like it the least. I'm just kidding.
Louise.
Just kidding. Turn her camera off, okay? With Masquerade, I'd had these ideas for like half a year, and I tried doing it on GarageBand, and I was like, I can't figure out what this song is or what it needs, but it felt kind of like beyond my skill set to even pull together. So I just sort of sat on these voice notes. I'm going to play a couple of them now. I remember you yelling at me in a hotel near a theme park. After that, I never saw you the same. You use your anger to cover up your fear, just like a masquerade. Like a masquerade. Hey, like a masquerade. Okay, so we had those two things. We were figuring it out. I'm pretty sure maybe I showed you this next part even later because it was one of those ideas where I was like, this is random. I don't know what section this would go in. And then we obviously found a home for it. But initially it was just this. I remember you yelling, ha, ha, ho. I remember you yelling, ha, ha, ho. I remember
As soon as I heard you sing that, I go to Harmony Brain because I'm like, ooh, that's a stacker. Ooh, it's a stacker.
Yeah, that's
a stacker.
She loves a stack. She loves a stack. And I think that's also one of the funnest parts of having such a brilliant post-chorus because it is a hook. There's hooks upon hooks in this song, and that is tasty as hell, I'd say.
And I'm glad I played it because it felt random.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting how almost every time the idea that you're like, this is ridiculous, I shouldn't even bother showing you, it ends up becoming the best part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally. I know now that's, my favorite part in the final version is when that all comes in with all of the harmonies.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things I will say too about working with you, Michaela, is that I can focus on melody and while you like finish your lyrics, and again, never have to worry about your lyrics.
I think maybe this came out of the first day. This is version 1.
Whoa.
Different words.
This felt great. The pause. The pause. Chef's kiss.
When you had that chorus idea, I was really excited because I felt like you hadn't done soaring, powerful chorus vocals yet.
Yeah.
And I always want you to. And then I knew right away we needed gang vocals on it.
I remember the strings were a little controversial for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember Louise's exact quote.
What did she say?
I don't like those. I'm getting a visceral reaction from them. And then a week later, you completely changed your mind.
Yeah. It all made sense to me because of what this song is. It's very musical. It's like a musical song. There's such complex instrumentation, and now I can't imagine it without. Like it was such a.
It's funny that you were struggling with it because I thought we were all on the same page that obviously we were going to have these epic classical moments in it.
Yeah.
And of course we never even talked about that. So I don't even know why I just assumed everyone would be on board with that.
Yeah.
So I started cutting up Motown string samples and just putting them in there.
I could not get over how amazing it's like. I just have such a memory of like listening to the version, walking down Main Street, and you know when you're like, it's a secret that just you have. I probably was actually walking like down the street.
Well, to be fair, that's how you always walk. So
what's different about that? What I've learned in production, what I've always known about production is like nothing is ever written in stone, and it's ultimately Michaela's decision too.
We haven't really talked about the final post-chorus.
Right.
Because we tease it and then it happens
for
reals. I wonder if all the harmonies are in this.
So good.
And the strings.
So proud of this song.
Me too.
So that felt good. And then I think you probably also, going into this bridge, because it's so big, again, I think you were like, it's got to it's got to come down. It's got to be intimate and like vulnerable, and there has to be a little bit more space. And then you just kind of had the, I don't know, just whatever you programmed.
I did a big filter on it to just bring all the high frequencies, just took them right out.
It's too late now to do What's so exciting? It's like, where did it all go?
Yeah.
And then this was Louise's idea, if we have it here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a wheezy hook right there for sure.
And then we have the like a masquerade in the background, which is more pronounced in the final version.
Yeah.
On the final product, Danica Slinger yelling it.
Yeah.
The great
All my
Danica Slinger.
bestest buddies. So yeah, by this point, you know, it felt pretty good.
Yeah.
It felt pretty good, and then it was time to track vocals properly and bring in the big guns, aka my amazing friends. And then Lisa came in to do violin.
Yeah.
Yep.
That moment in the bridge where she does that sort of sorrowful, they're like, da,
it's amazing.
da, da. And it's crazy. You just put her in there. You're like, do something.
Yeah.
What is your favorite moment in the song?
I love the pre-chorus.
Coming out of the bridge into the Louise soaring vocals part.
The pause?
Yeah. I love the part you just played, like when it goes into the chorus progression, but with a new vocal on it. So epic. Yeah. And the gang vocals on it. So good.
Yeah. What I also remember from that string disagreement was like the strings have a real triumphance to them.
Yeah.
Like they're quite a lift, but the lyrical content is not I don't know. It's not exactly triumphant. It's sort of like heavy, and you're navigating like a relationship. You're trying to help this other person emotionally process and figure out how you want to make your relationship different moving forward.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of like maybe the soundscape doing one thing and the lyrics doing the other. So how would you, if you were like explaining this to somebody, how does the song make you feel?
I think elevated for sure. I think perhaps at first when the strings came in, that triumphant feel was not gelling with my first interpretation of the lyrics. Yeah. But there is now, when I listen back to it, I love that contrast. The contrast of this song, it's a really sad, heavy song. Like it's really, really heavy. And it's about something that is very specific and unique and like incredibly universal at the same time. But that's sort of what makes it so inspiring and elevating, is that we all have these really hard moments. We all see other people we love go through these really hard moments, but we have no choice but to,
like soldier on and figure it out.
It's interesting because lyrically the content is kind of crushing, but the melodies just wrote the production ideas to me. I feel like if you wrote the song and then we made it really sad sounding, it would be such a letdown in a way.
Totally.
I
think for me, the part that makes the triumphant sound make sense and be resolved is the lyrical content in the bridge, because there's a little bit of a disconnect. It's like, it is a bit crushing, the lyrics, but the sound in the chorus is kind of hopeful and energetic. And then you get to the bridge and it's as though now I'm in person in real time talking to somebody directly rather than looking back. Yeah. And I'm trying to tell them that they're safe with me, right? We can't do things differently, but moving forward, we can carve a new path. And then to kind of top it all off, I changed the lyrics slightly in that pre-chorus. So it's no more yelling at me. I promise that you're safe. Don't use your anger to cover up your fear like a masquerade. So it's like a final reckoning where it's like, maybe things haven't worked in the past, but moving forward, I know how you operate. You know how I operate. And we can just be more open about our communication and what we need moving forward. So that for me is when it all makes sense. It's like, it's hopeful, triumphant. It's also sad. Yeah. That's just kind of how relationships are in my experience of relationships.
The sonic palette for me was like, I want it to feel futuristic, but also have these classical elements that would feel old. Yes. And then it really just came together like so quick.
All right, let's have some live reacts. The gang.
I always think of Kevvy's hands like with the strings.
Yeah.
And you're like,
studio?
He's cueing him.
He's the conductor. I always think of that. Whoops.
Okay. This is the controversial fill here. That's a classic thing when something's too new. I was like, I don't like that, Kevvy. No. And he's like, listen to it 5 more times. I was like, that's
right. I remember that. That was so good. So good.
I lost my mind when this part came in. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I
appropriate response.
This is how I was listening to
Yeah. Michaela's at a Slipknot concert when she listens to this song.
Listen for Lisa's string part 2. So pretty.
So good.
And that little piano riff I did.
Yeah, I love that.
Da-da-da.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, this next part, I almost had a heart attack. The double drum fill.
That was magical.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Honestly, guys.
You should be a
song,
drummer.
I'm exhausted by the time I finish listening to it.
You should actually be a drummer.
Yeah.
I'm going to start taking drum lessons.
I am not surprised.
Yeah.
You have the rhythm and the energy.
You absolutely channeled Kermit the Frog there, and I love
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
well,
Great job. Hey.
Great job. Hey.
Seriously.
guys,
Well done.
so good.
Both of you.
So good.
Geniuses. I might cry.
Great job.
All right.
I'm crying.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything. My spiritual guides.
Thank you for
Thank you.
having us.